So over the last week, I've been using the Beats Fit Pro for pretty much all of my everyday tasks, even gaming and streaming. More on that later. Let's find out if they're worth their price point. Up until recently, I've consistently shuffled between the Beats Studio Buds and the Powerbeats Pro. Now, we checked out and reviewed the Airpods 3 last week, which fell short for me and my lifestyle, mostly thanks to its wider, uncomfortable fit. This newest addition to the family comes in at $200, and it's a breath of fresh air for the lineup. They took the Beats Studio Buds and pretty much gave you all the features and functions that you see in the Airpods Pro and the Airpods 3, except you don't get wireless charging with these, which is kind of a bummer at this price point. So we have ANC, hands-free Siri, which I rarely use, spatial audio, and an adaptive EQ. They also kept that same IPX4 rating from the Beats Studio Buds while adding a wing for a more secure fit, locking them in place for your workouts. Something I haven't really seen since the Powerbeats Pro came out. Now, I've used these over the past 2 years. I love the fit, they never fall out, and the battery life's amazing. Now we have something somewhat similar in a smaller form factor. Now, if you think these do look strikingly similar to the Beats Studio Buds, I mean, you're not really losing it. It's a tad bit larger than before, and they do sport that same function button by the logo on the earbuds, just like you got with that model. I mean, its biggest design difference is probably its wingtip. Unlike most other buds out in the market, this particular style, though, is very flexible and has a rubber feel to it. The key element here is thanks to its shape and size, you still get that same comfortable fit that you saw with the Beats Studio Buds. Except now, it's a much more secure fit that doesn't fall out, and to be quite honest, half the time you don't even realize that they're there. Its controls, like I mentioned, are very similar to the Beats Studio Buds. You have physical buttons that are much more appealing than the stems that you get with the AirPods. Both sides mirror each other by default and let you play and pause with a single tap, while tapping twice to go to the next song and 3 times to add back. A press and hold cycles between both ANC and transparency modes. Now, you can also configure that same long press button to swap for a volume control if you'd actually prefer it that way, but if you do take that approach, you lose the ability to control your ambient sound and active noise cancellation, so keep that in mind. One interesting takeaway here is, unlike the Beats Studio Buds, they position the buttons towards the bottom of the earbuds rather than on top, which certainly helps avoiding any accidental presses if you're trying to push the earbuds back into place, if you ever need to. Apple's new wear detection sensor also sits at the back. Like the AirPods, the Beats Fit have an optical sensor with LEDs that can tell if the object is skin, along with its proximity, which also helps with those accidental touches while making automatic pausing much more accurate. This in turn also helps save battery life. Which, speaking of battery life, you get up to 6 hours with the buds and 27 hours total with the case itself. Now, if you take off active noise cancellation and those other modes, you get an extra 1 hour with the buds and 3 hours with the case, bringing the total to around 30 hours of playback time, which I found to be pretty accurate. You also get a full hour of use thanks to its quick charge feature in just 5 minutes. Now, software is similar to what you've seen in the past. For iPhone users, you can easily access noise control and spatial audio from the control center, where you can long press on the volume slider as well as reassign the press and hold onboard control from the eye icon next to the device name. Now, if you like, you also have an ear tip fit test with the ability to disable automatic ear detection in that same control center as well. Thanks to that H1 chip, it's super easy to set these up with your iPhone for the first time, just like previous earbuds or AirPods. You bring the case close to your iPhone detects it, boom, one button, you're paired, you're good to go. The real treat though is the sound quality with these. Beats completely redesigned the Fit Pro with a custom acoustic architecture, promising to deliver a powerful and balanced sound across the board, which is noticeable once you put them on for the first time. They sound amazing, the punchier bass goes along well with vocals to deliver a nice, clean, crisp listening experience. Now, I wouldn't say it's on par with the Sony WF-1000XM4s, but it's seriously getting close. I mean, for the first time in my life, I paired up a set of earbuds and ran some intense gameplay with them. Using the Beats Fit Pro, I was actually able to hear footsteps, gunfights, and pretty much everything else going on in Call of Duty Vanguard with pinpoint accuracy, while not having to worry about a headset on my head for hours on end. Taking it a step further, with Windows 11, I streamed Vanguard with these earbuds on using a separate microphone, and they were fantastic. Chatting with friends in Discord while streaming, listening to music, and gaming was one of the best experiences I've ever had with headphones. Not having to worry about a heavy, sweat-producing headset on your ears brings a new appreciation to how far along tech has come. I mean, sure, the battery died after 6 hours, which led me to switch over to the JBL Quantum 800 or the Penrose, but it was still an awesome experience. The Beats Fit Pro also work well with Apple's spatial audio, thanks in part to that H1 chip. This lets you listen to Dolby Atmos content in Apple Music, as well as Apple TV or movies and shows streamed off your iPhone or iPad devices. The active noise cancellation and transparency modes also worked really well. Again, it's not as good as the XM4s from Sony, but much better in my opinion than the Beats Studio Buds. Beats claims the system continuously monitors the environment and fit of the buds to provide responsive results in a multitude of different settings and scenarios. When it comes to calls, Beats equipped the Fit Pro with 6 total microphones, so 3 on each side. But just like previous earbuds and AirPods we've tested out, everyone told me that they sounded somewhat muffled, and they could hear pretty much everything going on in the background when they spoke to me on the phone. So keep that in mind. If you're in a noisier situation, these might not be the best for you when it comes to call quality. Working out with these was also an awesome experience. It gave me the same feeling as my Powerbeats Pro in a much smaller form factor. Unlike the Airpods 3 we checked out last week, I rarely ever caught myself having to push them back in, and comfort in my sessions, especially when I started to sweat, was never an issue. With its $200 price point, you have options. My favorite is the Beats Studio Buds for $70 less. However, you won't get that same secure fit, and the sound quality isn't as good either, especially when it comes to bass. The Airpods 3 on the other hand don't even come close when it comes to working out, but work well in most other scenarios, and those are almost the same price. Then you have the Powerbeats Pro that come in slightly cheaper now, but don't offer active noise cancellation or some of the other features this sports. So you're left with these and the much more expensive Sony XM4s. I'm gonna have to go with these, but I'm curious to know which set of earbuds or AirPods you guys are currently rocking with and why. Let me know down below, where you'll also find the links to everything that we covered in today's video. If you want to see more, go ahead and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at DetroitFury. And if you enjoyed this content, please make sure you smash that like button for me, subscribe, turn on your post notifications. It really means a lot to me. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.